Hey gang, Beta here, and today we are taking a look at the Reveal the Shield Legend sets. This set comes to me from BigBadToyStore.com. I did purchase this there. So, on this set we've got a Megatron, a Starscream, a Trail Cutter, a Optimus Prime, a Prowl, and a Bumblebee. So we're going to actually take a look at the Bumblebee first, because this isn't actually a new mold. This is just a repaint of the mold that we got about a year or so ago from the Classics line. His transformation is exactly the same. And as you can see, he's more of a gold bug color as opposed to a bumblebee color. And the coloring is exactly like G1 gold bug, but the head is the G1 bumblebee. And I gotta say, up against the original, or compared to the original figure, I don't really like this one. It doesn't help that my OCD is kicking in with the rub symbol being just slightly off center. But it's not bad. I just don't care for the color. Honestly, it looks more like a candy bar than anything else. So we'll put him off to the side. And next we'll take a look at Prowl. Now, Prowl is a very nice police car. It looks more like a combination of well, I was going to say a Lamborghini, but it looks more like a Maserati than anything else. It looks kind of like a weird combination of a Maserati and Aston Martin. It just looks like a mishmash of different sports cars, but you can't argue with the look. I mean, it's definitely a policed sports car. Maybe it's a European one because in Italy they use Lamborghinis to chase down speeders. So the transformation is typically simple. Just come under the doors and actually push and fold the doors down, and then that'll let you free up the arms to flip them out like that. Then grab the spoiler and just flip out the legs, and actually flip the feet out so that you have the stabilizers going. And then just fold down the entire front of the vehicle and position the arms. We've got a nice little Prowl figure, and that looks really, really cool. What I'd like to do is take some of my model brushes or something and actually give him some more detail on the face, but other than that, he looks very good for a little Legends figure. Very, very cool. Next, we'll look at Trail Cutter. Now, the story behind this, why is he called Trail Cutter? Well, the trademark for Trail Breaker is no longer in Hasbro's possession, so they went with Trail Cutter. And he is a pickup truck. Kind of a more sporty pickup truck with a full cab on the back. Definitely different from his original Land Rover design, but his transformation is very, very simple. Simply unpeg the back like that, fold it down, and flip out the feet. Just keep folding it down until it falls apart. Then split the cab open, flip up the head, and fold this whole section down like that until it locks into place, and fold down the arms. And here we have Trail Cutter. He's okay. I'm a little disappointed with this one because he's got the coloring, he looks exactly like he's supposed to, but the back is just this hollow mess, and there's no real uniqueness to this figure. It's all black except for a little silver here, a little silver and red on the legs, and that blue visor, but that is definitely Trailbreaker. So I'm at least glad that they gave the character a nod, but I don't really care for this figure. I can't think of any other figures, though, or any other characters that would make this a decent figure. Also, there's this. This actually doesn't really lock into place. It just kind of sits there and swivels. It comes apart really easily and just doesn't hold up all together that well. Yeah. Definitely the weakest of the robot modes. Next, let's take a look at Starscream. I love this jet mode. This jet mode is fantastic. It's just, for this size class, it's perfect. His transformation is really cool. You have to come in here and pull this middle part of his fuselage up and just flip it over. Then, on the wings, you see right next to the shield is a little tab. Actually, if you just push those in, that will free up what swings out to form the legs. You fold the tail wings up, Just fold that down. Then we'll turn it around. Take this whole section, rear section, and fold it forward. Then flip it out. And then take the nose cone, twist the nose cone around like you do for the Generation/Universe figures. Push the nose cone back, and here we have Starscream. I have to say, out of all of these guys, this one is one of my top ones. This thing is awesome. It's got a really fun transformation. He looks great in both modes, and he's just so freaking cool. And I don't know if the camera's catching that up, but the face is definitely the smug face of Starscream. So this one is really freaking cool. So let's take a look at Megatron next. And he's a little gun, and in typical USA law, there's got to be a orange cap on it. For something this small, is that really necessary? I guess according to the law, it is. So for transformation, this is an interesting transformation as well. We split apart the stock and then fold down the stock to form the legs. Next, we're going to come under here to the bottom of the barrel unit and actually pop that out and fold the full barrel down, and then just fold his arms up. Yep, this happens all the time on my figure. This ball joint always pops off, but it's really pretty easy to get back in. Next, we're going to take this bottom part that's on a swivel hinge, rotate it around to underneath the part of the chamber, take the part of the hammer, or take the entire hammer assembly and fold it down to form an arm, and then just flip up the head. And as Megatron goes, this thing is just awesome. I mean, it just works. He can pose. Unfortunately, he cannot turn the head on any of these guys, but still, he's just freaking awesome. My only complaint, and that has to do with the rub sign, it's just not centered. Drives me batty. Yeah, he kind of is a little bit floppy at times, but if you just leave him on the shelf and pose him, he's really neat, and the transformation is really original. I have to say that they did, for the size class of the figure, they did a phenomenal job. I would love to see a similar transformation be made in a larger figure. I really am impressed with this guy. He's not perfect, but you know what? He's definitely cool. And now, finally, we get to my favorite figure of the bunch, Prime. Why? Well, I'll show you in a second, but his cab mode looks just really cool. It's modern. It's just a little bit different. It's not completely flat. It's kind of angled. Okay, he's got a really nice little cab mode. Well, what makes me love this guy is the robot mode, which this is the G1 Prime transformation, pretty much. Actually, it's more akin to maybe Masterpiece Prime, I would say. It's really simple, but I don't know of any Prime that once transformed looks as ready for action as this Prime does. I mean, he just has a wide stance. His arms just look like he's ready to get kick some skid plate, and he just looks awesome. It just looks freaking awesome. I don't know how they managed to give him such a dynamic look in such a small little figure. He just looks freaking ready to start some shit. So, compared to the other guys, all these guys are pretty cool. But if I was going to tell you to just buy a few of them, which ones would I tell you to get? Well, I would say that if you really wanted the Bumblebee, go ahead and get it, but I don't care for the colors compared to the original. So I would say he's the weakest of the group, being just a repaint. I would say Trail Cutter is not bad. If you're a G1 fan, pick it up, but otherwise, I don't really care for that one. The Prowl's a good one. I like the Prowl. The Megatron one is good, the Starscream is good, and the Prime is absolutely awesome. So I would buy these four. I would recommend these four. But if I only had to recommend two, I'd recommend these two, Starscream and Prime. Why? Just because they have unique transformations. They both look great in robot mode and in vehicle mode. And the two of them together are just awesome. So, as a whole, this bunch of Legends isn't bad at all. I'm really happy with them, but compared to the last bunch of Legends that we got, which was Warpath, Cosmos, Wheelie, I think it was Hot Rodimus, this set is a little bit weaker compared to that other set, but still, it has brought us some really kickin' figures. So I would recommend Prime and Starscream as your top choice, Prowl and Megatron as your secondary, and then the bottom tier would be Trail Cutter and Bumblebee. Like I said, bought these over at BigBadToyStore.com, and they're still there, or they're still available, so if you're interested in them, go ahead and pick them up.